You know how we love to geek out over words and their origins.
Absolutely.
Well, get ready because today we're tackling a topic that's sure to tickle your funny bone and maybe even make you scratch your head a bit.
Intriguing.
It's all about homophones.
Ah, those tricky sound-alikes.
Exactly. You know, those words that sound exactly the same but have completely different meanings and spellings.
Yeah, like right and right.
Perfect example. And we've got a whole treasure trove of these linguistic gems to explore today. Thanks to all of you amazing listeners who send in your suggestions.
Sounds like we have a fun challenge ahead of us.
We do. So buckle up as we unravel the mysteries behind some of the most confusing, amusing, and even historically rich homophone pairs out there.
I'm ready.
Okay, let's jump right in with a trio that's notorious for tripping people up, especially in writing.
Oh, I think I know where you're going with this.
I'm talking about there, and there.
Oh, yeah. Those three are classic culprits.
It's amazing how three little words with the exact same sound can cause so much confusion.
Right. But understanding the difference is crucial for clear communication.
Absolutely.
Oh,
So could you break it down for us? What makes each of these words unique?
sure thing. So, there with an EIR is all about possession. It shows that something belongs to someone, like their cat is so fluffy.
Okay, so there is the possessive one.
Yep. Then we have there, the contraction.
Ah, a shortened form.
Exactly. It's short for they are. So you might say they're going to the park.
And that just saves us a little time and space when writing.
Precisely. Now, the last one, there, with an ERE, is all about location. It tells us where something is.
Like the book is over there.
You got it.
See, it seems simple when you break it down like that.
It is, once you get the hang of it.
But I think it's a good reminder for all of us to slow down when we're writing and really think about the context.
Absolutely. A misplaced there, or there can completely change the meaning of a sentence.
Now, let's move on to a pair that I find particularly fascinating because of their shared history. Flower and flower.
Ooh, that's a good one. They seem so different.
Right. One's a key ingredient in baking, and the other brings beauty to our gardens.
So how did these two end up sounding exactly alike?
Well, believe it or not, flower actually comes from an older form of the word flower.
Really? I never would have guessed that.
It's true. It originally referred to the finely ground part of the grain, which was considered the flower of the plant.
Oh, that makes sense, like the best part of the plant.
Exactly. Over time, the spelling and pronunciation shifted, but the connection remains.
Wow, that's a great example of how language evolves in unexpected ways.
It really is. It shows that even words that seem totally unrelated can have a hidden connection.
And speaking of unexpected connections, how about sail and sail? They sound identical now, but their journeys to becoming homophones were quite different.
I know, right? It's amazing to think about how these two words, from completely different origins, ended up sounding the same.
It speaks to the dynamic nature of English, always absorbing influences from other languages.
So let's break down their origins a bit. Where did each of these words come from?
So sail with an E actually comes from Old Norse.
Oh, wow. That's a Scandinavian influence.
It is. And then we have sail with an AIL, which has roots in Old English.
So one from the north and one closer to home.
Precisely. And their convergence into homophones really highlights how English has become this melting pot of linguistic influences over the centuries.
A true testament to the power of language to adapt and change.
Absolutely. Okay, are you ready for a little homophone challenge?
Bring it on.
All right. I'm thinking of a homophone pair that's all about the senses. One word is how you perceive the world through sight.
Okay. I'm following.
And the other word is how you perceive the world through sound.
Ah, I think I've got it. Are you talking about see and hear?
You nailed it. But of course, we can't forget their tricky counterparts, see and hear.
Oh, right. That's actually a set of 4 homophones.
It is, and it just goes to show how crucial context is for understanding the intended meaning.
Imagine saying, I want to sail on the sea.
Oh dear, that could lead to some confusion.
Exactly. Or saying, come here instead of come here.
Oh, the possibilities for misunderstandings are endless.
Okay, let's tackle another one that I know trips up a lot of people, even experienced writers.
I have a feeling I know which one you're going for.
It's the apostrophe dilemma.
Oh, yes. This pair is a classic example of how one tiny punctuation mark can make a world of difference.
So could you break down the difference between it's and its for us?
Of course. It's with no apostrophe shows possession, just like his or her. It means something belongs to it, like the dog wagged its tail.
Right. So it's showing ownership without needing that apostrophe.
Exactly. Now, with the apostrophe is a contraction. It's short for it is or it has.
Like it's a beautiful day or it's been raining all week.
Exactly. So remembering that it's always stands in for two words can help you avoid those pesky grammar errors.
Mastering this distinction is essential for clear and effective writing.
It really is one of those small details that can have a big impact on how your writing is perceived.
Okay, ready for a little scenario to test your homophone knowledge?
Sure, let's do it.
Imagine you're at a fruit stand and you're craving some juicy pears. Would you ask for a pair of pears or a pair of pears?
Well, pair means two things that go together.
Right, like a pair of shoes.
Exactly. So it'd be a pair of pears.
That's right, because you want two of those delicious fruits.
And pear, of course, just refers to the fruit itself.
You've got it. Okay, we have time for one last pair. Let's talk about affect and effect.
Oh, those two are notorious for causing headaches, especially in formal writing.
They really are. But fear not, because there's a handy tip to remember the difference.
So, do tell.
Think of it this way. Affect with an A is usually a verb.
Okay, so it describes an action.
Exactly. It means to influence or change something.
Like the weather can affect your mood.
Perfect example. Now, affect with an E is usually a noun.
So it refers to a thing.
That's right. It means the result or consequence of something.
Like the medicine had a positive effect.
You got it. So if you can remember that affect is usually the action and effect is usually the result.
It can make a big difference in using these words correctly.
Absolutely. So we've explored a lot of these fascinating homophone pairs today, but what's the takeaway for our listeners? Why should they care about mastering these sometimes quirky words?
That's a great question. Ultimately, understanding homophones is all about clear and effective communication.
Right. It's about being able to express ourselves accurately.
And avoiding those embarrassing mix-ups that can sometimes happen.
Because let's face it, we've all been there.
We have. But beyond that, exploring homophones can also be a fun way to appreciate the richness and complexity of the English language.
It's like a little window into the history and evolution of words.
Exactly. And as a final thought, I challenge you to consider this. Why do you think English has so many homophones compared to other languages?
Ooh, that's a good one.
And what does that tell us about the unique path that English has taken over the centuries?
That's a great question to ponder. Until next time, keep those ears and minds open for the wonderful world of words.
And watch out for those tricky homophones.
They're lurking everywhere.